Okay, so today we're going to move on to area and surface area. So for your warm-up, I want you to try these first two examples. So you need to find the area of a rectangle and then find the area of a triangle. Be aware of the measurements though, and then you're going to pause the video right now and then try that, and then you're going to check your answer. So now you can check your answer, see if you got it right or what you did wrong. So Casey wants to wrap a gift like the one below, which is a rectangular prism with a length of 6 centimeters, width of 3 centimeters, and a height of 4 centimeters. How would Casey go about wrapping this, or how much would she need? So if you look, it's a rectangular prism. What that means is that there's 4 rectangles and then 2 other rectangles. So there's a total of 6 rectangles. Now, what we need to do is, in order to figure out how much would cover one side, is we need to figure out the area of that one side. So looking at the bottom side here, area of a rectangle is just length times width. So what is 6 centimeters times 3 centimeters? Well, that would give you an area of 18 centimeters squared. Okay, that's one. Then, here's another rectangle. This time, this rectangle is by 4 and 3. So 4 times 3 would give me 12 centimeters squared. Now I have to imagine here, okay? So I'm going to label all my sides. So 6 centimeters is this length, but it's also this length back here. It's also this top length and this top length. That helps me because now I can find the other areas of each rectangle. Well, the height is 4, so anywhere I see a vertical line, that's where I'm going to put 4 centimeters. So back here is 4 centimeters, and up here is 4 centimeters. Next to the width is 3. So anytime I see a slanted line going back, that would be your 3. So now that I have each side label, I can figure out what the rest of it. So this side over here, kind of acting as that other wall, that would be my 3 times 4, which would give me 12 centimeters squared. Okay, I'm going to do this front wall right here. So that front wall is 6 by a height of 4. So 6 times 4 would give me 24 centimeters. I'm going to do this back wall now because it's the same little length. Okay, so this back wall back here would be 4 times 6, which gives me 24 centimeters squared. And then the top part, so the top of the box is 18 centimeters squared. So it gets kind of messy with all these boxes, and you have to look and see how many rectangles there are. But if I wanted to now, to figure out the total area, I would have to add all these together. So the surface area would be 18 plus 18 plus 24 plus 24 plus 12 plus 12. So that's just all my purple numbers added together, which means that is 108 centimeters squared. So it kind of takes a process to figure out all these areas. So is there a quicker way? So I want you to think of surface area as wrapping paper. So in order to figure out the surface area of a prism, we must find the area of each side and then add them together. Well, that took a long process. So let's see if there's some formulas that could help us out. So rectangular prism, the surface area equals 2LH plus 2WH plus 2WL. What that is saying is your L is your length. So that means length. This part, or W, is your width. And then H, so this part here, is your height. So what we can do is we can just plug those into this formula and we can figure out surface area. That's a lot simpler than trying to visualize, well, what is each measurement of each line and finding the area. So that's one formula you need to memorize. Now, what if we have a triangular prism? A triangular prism is just a prism with triangles as the bases. So there's 2 triangles and then 3 rectangles. So the surface area to do that is the base times the height. The base part is this of the triangle. So base and height of the triangle. And then it says S1 plus S2 plus S3. What that means is those are the sides of the triangle. So this is like S1, this is S2 or your base, and then this is S3. You're going to add those together, and then we times it by H, and this time capital H is the height of the prism. So memorize that formula as well. And then a cube, the surface area is the 6 times the side squared. So one side is S. Well, a cube is just made up of 6 squares, basically. So that's why it's just 6 times side squared. So S just means one side of the cube. So let's try 2 problems together. So determine the shape and then find the surface area. So I notice that this shape has a 2 by 3 by 2. What that means is that it does not have all equal sides and it's not a cube. So this is a rectangular prism. So in a rectangular prism, your surface area formula is 2LH plus 2WH plus 2WL. So now I have to figure out, well, what's L, W, and H? So the length tends to be the bottom vertical side. So this is my length. The height is always the length is always the horizontal line. The height is always the vertical line. So then my width would be my slanted line. So my surface area is 2 times 3 times 2 plus 2 times 2 times 2 plus 2 times 2 times 3. So what you can do is you can plug that into your calculator now. So 2 times 3 times 2 would give me 12. 2 times 2 times 2 would give me 6. And then 2 times 2 times 3 would give me 12. I add those together and I get 30 inches squared. So surface area is always squared, so make sure you remember to put that. Now let's look at the next problem. So in this next problem, I see 2 triangles, which means it's a triangular prism because those are its bases. So my formula for triangular prism is surface area equals base times height of your triangle plus the 3 sides of your triangle times the height of the prism. So looking at this, the base and height of the triangle. So base is bottom side. Well, the base here is 2. The height of this triangle, which is right here, is also 2. So now I have to go around and see the side lengths of the triangle. So this is like S1, S2, S3. So it's going to be 2.2 plus 2 plus 2.2. And then my height of the prism, so this whole length connecting the 2 triangles, is 4. So now I have to simplify. Well, 2 times 2 is just 4. I have to add before I multiply, so 2.2 plus 2 plus 2.2 is 6.4, and then times 4. So PEMDAS says multiply first, so I get 25.6, and then I add them together and I get 29.6 inches squared. So your homework is the next 4 problems, so make sure you determine the shape and then find the surface area.